This mutation is called the Injustice League, and we have 3 mutators active. We have Hardened Will, we have Inspiration, and we have Heroes from the Storm. So, the Injustice League. You may have heard of the Justice League with Superman and Batman, but the Injustice League has a lot more familiar faces from Starcraft. We have Nova, we have Tychus, we have Raynor, we have Karax, we have Zeratul, and we have a bunch of other stuff that I cannot remember. But there we go. The Justice League Mutator will basically send some Amon heroes to your base with every single attack wave in the mission. Now, these heroes do consist of the heroes that I mentioned. I believe there's also Kerrigan and Dehaka. I don't know if I mentioned them earlier. But they have their own unique set of abilities. And these abilities are pretty nasty, actually. These heroes are really, really strong, and they're really, really scary. They have a lot of HP. They have a lot of attack. And the one thing I can remember when I played this is Kerrigan's Apocalypse ability really, really hurts. And Nova will just nuke the crap out of you. So there you go. I do remember like playing this mutation, and it was the most fun mutation that I have played because it's just extremely amusing to see yourself getting wrecked by Nova. I did end up beating it after I think 6 or 7 attempts. It is definitely a difficult one, but unfortunately my playthrough was not as interesting as this one because I played some relatively stronger commanders than the ones that are being played here. So we can see over here we have Raynor and Swann that will be going up against us. 3 pieces of static defense here for Swann. We have 2 Flaming Betties and a Blaster Billy that is there for this, and now the attack wave will be coming up, and you can see over here that is the hero, and the first hero is Raynor, so it should not be too bad. As you can see, he has a lot of HP, so this Raynor has 1000 HP, relatively tanky, and very, very strong unit in general over here. So Raynor will be taken out eventually. There is a salvage that goes down onto the structure to prevent it from dying off, but just see how tanky this guy is. And to start, you will normally have 1 hero per attack wave, but eventually it's going to go up to 2 and then to 3 heroes per attack wave. And that is when it starts getting really, really ugly. And as I said earlier, Kerrigan's Apocalypse really sucks. Nova will just keep nuking you with her ability. I don't believe she needs Ghost Academies to nuke you. She'll just nuke you anyway. And this is the Advanced Nova nuke. That is the one that your hero has. So it doesn't take 15 seconds for the nuke to hit your base. No, it's gonna be like 2 seconds and then the nuke's in your face already and you are dead. So you have to be really, really careful. But it is definitely a lot of fun. One of my more fun mutators to play. As you can see over here, Swann has given a tech reactor to Raynor. And Raynor is able to get the research done through his from these tech reactors, and he'll be able to double produce. This is one of the small things you can do with Swann. It's a lesser known interaction, is that Raynor can use his tech reactors. So you can give your ally a tech reactor, and Raynor can produce 2 Marauders or 2 medics out of 1 barracks, or 2 siege tanks out of 1 factory. So that is something you can do if you are playing Swann, or if playing Raynor. You can request your ally to give you a some help. There is a concentrated beam that goes down onto the stack wave. I'm not sure how much of the stack wave was essentially wiped by that, but you can see there the attack wave does tend to split because it tends to collide with some of the other enemy units there. There is a Hyperion over there. So as you can see, the Haka is on this side now. He does do a little bit of an eat on this onto the Hyperion. Hyperion doesn't really deal a lot of damage to the Dehaka because there is a Hardened Will there. But the Dehaka does end up dying right now. There is Tychus left over here. Again, lots of DPS from the Hyperion and the laser drill. And the Hyperion teleports over on this side to weaken this enemy base on here. And at first glance, you might be wondering why they would do that. There's also a combat drop and a Banshee airstrike here. The reason why is I believe Raynor is going to drop some Spire Mines into this location and spawn camp the attack waves. So yeah, there we go. So there are the vultures. These vultures will put down some spire mines here, and this will be able to help one-shot the attack waves as soon as they spawn. Not having to deal with the heroes is a really good thing. Unfortunately, it will take a few spire mines to be able to wipe these attack waves here. But again, Raynor is already in position, and he's going to lock down the spawn point here. The other thing to note, which is somewhat unfortunate, is that because of this Terran, you cannot actually interrupt the attack wave spawn point, so the heroes will consistently keep spawning on the side. This is actually interesting. I do not know what is going on over here. But there are a bunch of spire mines that are also being spawned on this side. I'm not really sure why that is, to be honest. I have never like seen spire mines come down on this side. This is the first time I've seen it. But this is the whole purpose of casting games by very high caliber players. Is you tend to see some strategies which you don't normally see. So I'm assuming there's going to be some kind of attack wave that'll be spawning on this side. I'm just not sure what. I thought all the attack waves spawn on this over here. Apparently not. Okay, so that was the attack wave, and there was the hero, that was Karax. Karax survived for 0.1 seconds before the Spider-Man wrecked his face. But yeah, there we go. So the attack waves will start spawning on this side. I believe what it is... The more Spider-Man is coming up on this side as well. Actually really interesting. I'm not really sure why the attack wave spawns here. I have never seen the attack wave spawn on this side. But if I had to venture a guess as to what is going on, is if Amon loses vision of this area, he will start to spawn enemy units in here, which is my guess. I'm not 100% sure. But this area has essentially been spawn camped, which means the attack waves are not going to be much of a problem now. And this mission may become significantly more normal. There are hybrids in the bases, which means they will trigger the Hardened Will and the Inspiration buff, but not having to deal with Amon's heroes are it's just huge. It is just such a huge thing for the commanders over here. There are more vultures that are coming up now. They have relocated to the site, and they're going to be putting down some more spire mines on here. Again, the attack waves will get wiped out very quickly on this mission here. There are a lot of spire mines that are coming up on this side. I think it is a double spawn point here, I think, which they have to try and defend. I'm not really sure again why. Production-wise, we're going to have a look over here. We have Raynor going for the combat shields, and he's putting down another orbital CC. We have the range upgrade for Swann's units, and he's going for the Goliath upgrades as well. Overall, relatively good. The first void shard has been cleared on the side. There is a scan and a Banshee airstrike that is here that is working away on this void shard. I am actually paying attention to this side because I do want to see the attack wave. I want to show you how fast the attack wave can melt with these spire mines over here. So we just want to keep paying attention to this side. These Banshees are going to slowly work away on this void shard, and this void shard will go down. And once you move out of the way a little bit, there's another drop here, and essentially everything just ends up dying instantly. And there is unfortunately a Zeratul on this side that ends up there, but a scan goes down for Raynor, and Zeratul just ends up melting. And now we have one last void shard left in this base, and we will be good to go to the next set of void shards. Vultures move back here, put down some more spire mines. The spire mines deal a lot of damage, very useful unit, especially when you're up against a ground composition. I highly recommend you use them to spawn camp attack waves because they are really strong. There is a combat drop that is working its way here. It has been dropped on this side just to try and weaken this part. And now we have a Hyperion on this side as well to try and weaken this enemy base here. Hyperion drops a point defense drone just to weaken some of the enemy forces and reduce the amount of damage as taken. Another point defense drone comes down. There is a hybrid over here, and it has the Hardened Will buff, which is causing a little bit of a problem. There's also an Inspiration buff that's giving out to the enemy units on the side here, which is making these units a little bit more tanky. But the Hyperion again has no problem dealing with this side. Over here, Swann has a bunch of Goliaths that are being loaded and unloaded from the Hercules. Fortunately, that Goliath does end up going down to the Goliath on this side. But there is a bunch of Science Vessels here that are ready to help the side here. So Hyperion is slowly working its way and weakening these enemy forces. There's a Secret Missile that goes down the Hyperion, but unfortunately the Hyperion has timed out, and the Secret Missile ends up missing. But you can see these Goliaths are slowly harassing these Banshees on here. Unfortunately, there is these units are actually really strong. That hybrid has the Hardened Will buff, so it's not going to be taking a lot of damage. It's going to be a while for these Goliaths to be able to work its way through and take out that hybrid over there. I believe there was also a lack of focus fire on that hybrid, but that is fine. But now the Goliaths, this entire enemy base has been cleared up, so it's just a matter of time before this thing goes down. Next attack wave should be spawning sometime soon, I believe, unless I missed it. The attack waves end up dying so fast on this side. We have a bunch of vultures now that are just trying to take this out. We're putting down some more of these spire mines just to weaken these attack waves. And we have the Banshee airstrike, now that has been cleared out. That void shard is just going to weaken this enemy camp on this side. The next set of void shards are here. So over here we have Kerrigan and Artanis, and there's Kerrigan's Apocalypse, which is really ridiculously, scarily nasty. It does a lot of damage. Artanis does blink forward, does end up getting evaporated by these Spire Mines, and now I see why these mines are over here, and you can see how much damage these Spire Mines end up doing. But I don't know whether you caught that. That Kerrigan's Apocalypse is just such a nasty AoE. It just does so much damage, and no, unfortunately we do not have access to that ability. Over here, these point defense drones have given vision to Laser Drill. Laser Drill is weakening this side. Swann is going to try and take out this pirate ship. Should have no real problems taking out the pirate ship. There's no real units nearby, so it doesn't have the Hardened Will upgrade or the Mutator buff active on it. Goliaths, though, will take a little bit of time to take this pirate ship out because there doesn't seem to be any focus fire on that part. But Swann is focusing on this Void Shard over here. This Void Shard ends up going down. This enemy center defenses have been... The one thing over here is Raynor hasn't put down his, or Swann hasn't put down his turrets yet, so I don't know whether Swann wants to rebuild this or just use Raynor's scans for the detection. But I think one missile turret might be useful when you have Zeratul, and but that's fine. Over here, the Banshees are working away on this Void Shard, so this Void Shard will end up going down eventually. And Swann has taken out the bonus objective, so I think Raynor is just focusing on these Void Shards while Swann just ends up clearing out. I do not know why that Hercules was shut down by the Goliaths. As, I think it might have been a misclick, I'm not really sure. But to be honest, if there are no siege tanks in the mix, the Goliaths don't really need a Hercules, so that might be the reason why the Hercules was shut down, but that's okay. There's a secret missile that goes down on the science vessel, but there is a barrier upgrade that gets cast on that. Fortunately, this other science vessel does end up getting hit by that. And essentially this base will end up going down. This last Void Shard is still up, but I think Raynor's scan will drop and another Banshee airstrike will come up. There's another attack with this couple on this side, and there's Nova's nuke over there, and Nova ends up dying, and so does Zeratul here with the scans. You can see these units, these heroes are really scary. If you're not really paying attention, you can end up getting completely smashed by the attack waves on here. This combat drop has done its job, so it is going to work its way towards the final base, and Swann is clearing up this side here. Banshee airstrike comes down with a scan, and we'll end up cleaning up this last Void Shard. I believe there's enough DPS for these guys to end up taking out that last Void Shard. This pirate ship also goes down to the Goliath damage that is out there, and essentially this mission is almost cleared. There might be another attack where we'll get to kind of see another thing here. There's a Hyperion that's come down now to weaken this enemy side. Attacking from the back is always a little bit better than attacking from the front, because the front is actually really fortified. But the Void Shards have now spawned because the Banshee airstrike has cleared out that side. I don't know if it'll get rallied back over to try and deal a little bit more damage, but there we go. So yeah, we have a bunch of missile turrets that are coming out, but I don't believe there's going to be enough time. I think they're going to end up clearing this side really fast. So you can see over here there are a ton of battlecruisers here, but the Hyperion's timer is almost done, so it just gets sent over here just to weaken whatever is there. And now we have Swann and Raynor's army in position. And on this side, we have a bunch of SCVs that will be making a bunch of missile turrets, a little corridor to greet the enemy units on this side. And there's again a little bit of macro there for Raynor, just to put down some more Spire Mines on that side. And Raynor's army and Goliaths from Swann should be enough to take out that enemy side. They are going to start pushing into this base. They'll have to be a little bit careful because there are a lot of hybrids there. The good thing about Raynor's army, in fact his bio army, is if I can pick one of his Marines have a total of 8 damage, which means the Hardened Will Mutator for the hybrids, which gives them the extra damage reduction, is not affected by the Marines' DPS. So the Marines can DPS them like normal and end up killing them relatively easily, because Hardened Will only reduces the damage dealt to hybrids to 10. So even though they have that little shield there, Raynor's Marines should have no real problems dealing with the enemy forces. But this enemy base has essentially been cracked already because of the Hyperion and the Banshees and Raynor's army. Swann's army really powerful as well with the Goliaths. There is another drop on this side. Again, just essentially everything just gets evaporated here by the strength of the attack waves. The spinning dizzies as well having a lot of detection, so that is fine. That last Void Shard has gone down, and that Mutator was rendered completely useless because of Raynor and Swann's great play over there. And Korhal has been saved, and that is GG.